Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Rohr Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts, Josh Rohr and Laura Sturm.
Welcome to episode 146. How are you, Josh Rohr?
I'm good. How are you? It's been a minute.
It has. What's new in the Rohr household?
Good question. Emma is almost a year old.
Did I see some steps the other day in the video?
Yep. She will be 1 year old in exactly 2 weeks.
Wow.
But yeah, she took her first steps a couple days ago.
They grow up so fast.
I know. Crawling faster than ever and starting to walk around too. So
yeah. Watch out. Now you have to do all the baby proofing and
I know.
And you can never baby proof everything.
Yeah, I know.
They always find their ways and stuff. Yeah. We had a tornado touchdown nearby
no way.
On Thursday. Yeah. There's a lot of people around here that are, I think, still without power, and no one got hurt. No one got killed or anything. I don't think I heard about any farm animals or anything even dying. It was just a lot of damage, a lot of trees down, a lot of people with trees on their houses. We got nothing right here. But man, you go down the road and it wasn't far away. So we're very fortunate.
Yeah. If Dan needs help hooking up the generator up there, he walked me through how to do it.
Our power was out for like 20 minutes. There were people that are still out since Thursday. So
that's nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you or not. I think I told Dan, but when we were up there, when we stayed at your house when you guys were out of town, obviously the power was out, and he told me how to get the generator out. So I pull it out, run the cords, pull the refrigerator, because we were just concerned about the food in the fridge because it had been out for over 4 hours. And I guess after 4 hours, you're supposed to do whatever. So anyway, pulled the refrigerator out, unplugged it, plugged it into the extension cord. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do this in order. Pulled the refrigerator out. Didn't start the generator yet, but was going to run the cord. So I ran the cord into the house and plugged the extension cord into the fridge. And the exact moment that I plugged it in, all the lights came on, but it was kind of late in the middle of the night. So I was a little bit tired because I actually set an alarm to wake up to do this. But I had to sit there and think about it. I'm like, the fridge didn't come on, and that's what I just plugged in, but everything else did. What is going on here?
Did I just fix the power?
Yeah. It took me literally like 30 seconds to like sit there and really think about what just happened. And then I'm like, oh man, the power just came back on. But the irony is, like, everything came on first except the fridge, because I had it unplugged from the wall to plug into the generator that wasn't running yet. So yeah, that was great. So, I spent, I don't know, 20 minutes finding everything, pulling the generator out of the shed, getting the extension cord, all for the power to come back on the exact moment I plugged in the fridge.
Yep. Anyway. The universe messing with you, basically.
Yeah. It seems like that happens all the time, because we've had power outages here at the house before, and almost the same thing. I mean, there's been a few times where I've actually had to run the generator, but there's also times where I ran the generator, hooked up our fridge, let it run, and then our neighbor next door. So I unhook our stuff, get over to her house like 10 minutes later, run all the cords and plug it in, and then the power comes back on. So literally I ran the generator, like hooked it up for
all that work,
2 different houses,
nothing.
And realistically could have waited another 30 minutes and ours would have been just fine. But anyway, generator problems.
Impatience. Yeah.
But if I don't do it, then it's going to never come back on, and the food's going to go bad. And
right. And you're in charge of the power grid. So it's all up to you. Yeah.
It's all up to me. So as long as I plug in the generator, everybody's power will come back on.
Yeah. So you do the work. It's okay.
Perfect.
So what's going on in the powerlifting world?
I'm not exactly sure. I've kind of been not paying super close attention lately, but there are a few things I wanted to mention. Number one being the senior national coaching course is going to be taking place at Raw Nationals on Wednesday, September 13th. So it's the day before Raw National starts. It's actually the first time that that's been offered since before COVID. So anybody that's a club coach that wants to kind of level up their coaching credentials and knowledge, that would be a good one to go to. But that one does have a couple prereqs, one of them being state referee. So you got to be a state referee. You have to have been a club coach for 2 years or longer, and you have to have coached somebody at a USA powerlifting event. But we kind of do it as a roundtable. So the instructors are myself, Paulie Steinmann, Matt Gary, and Zach Cooper. And there's an online curriculum that has a lot of higher level things in it, and then we also just kind of roundtable the course. So all four of us will be teaching it, so you get different perspectives. And then another part of it too, you have to actually shadow a senior national level coach at Raw Nationals. So during one of the sessions. So in addition to the actual course on Wednesday, you are required to be present at one of the sessions to shadow a coach. So it's a lot of high level stuff. Some of the things that some of the feedback we've gotten from some of the club level coaches is, those are things that they really want to learn. And that's really what we're focusing on, is bringing some of those higher level things. So should be good.
Awesome. Is math under pressure one of those?
So I don't want to say too much, but there will be math under pressure. Real life situations that we're gonna play out in the course.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
that sounds like
and guess who's gonna make some of the scenarios? All of us, but for me, I'm gonna have some ones that you're gonna have to think about for a little bit, but not too long, because the clock's going to be ticking. We'll just say that.
Powerlifting meets keep rolling. It's a thing. The time stress is a real thing. So.
Yeah. So nice. It'll be good. I'm excited for it.
All
right. Other things, the remaining pro qualifiers. So people may have seen the post from USA Powerlifting that newly earned pro card holders are going to be invited to Raw Nationals, even though registration is full and the cap has been met. And the reason for that is that Nationals are a required event for the Pro Series. So basically, regionals are the pro qualifiers for the Masters lifters, and then there's standalone pro qualifier meets for open lifters. And basically the best lifter in the pro qualifiers earns their pro card, and the best lifter by dots with the age coefficient at the regionals earns their Masters Pro card. And the last one of those is the West Coast Regionals, August 13th and 14th in Las Vegas. So that's the last chance for a Masters lifter to earn their pro card, their Masters Pro card. And then the Sin City Pro Qualifier is August 13th, and that's where open lifters can compete, and the best lifter will get their pro card. So if you're an open lifter that isn't at Raw Nationals, you missed the deadline. The only way to get in at this point is to be the best lifter at that Sin City Pro Qualifier and get your pro card. And then you get to register. So there's been a few regionals recently and a few other pro qualifiers, and I don't know who won those. I haven't actually looked at it yet, but all of those lifters that did earn their pro card, they will get to register for Nationals with an invitation code August 14th through 17th. So that's the last chance to get in. So kind of cool. Let's see. The Wisconsin Equipped Pro. So there's currently only one person signed up for this, but I don't think people understand the implications here. So the Wisconsin Equipped Pro was added to the calendar recently, and that is the third meet of the Pro Series for equipped lifters. So you get to score 2, and we already had the Arnold. We had Equipped Nationals, and Equipped Nationals was required. There's still one more left. So people that are on the leaderboard right now, your spot's not necessarily safe to make the finals. So just as a I guess a precursor, only the top 5 lifters on the leaderboard make it to the Pro Series finals in the equipped division this year. So if you don't finish the series in the top 5, you don't get to compete for the big money. So why I'm bringing this up, and this is for Masters and Open equipped lifters. Just looking at the leaderboard right now, on the men's side, there's only one lifter that's guaranteed in the finals, and that's Jared Naquin. He has 90 points out of 100, and mathematically he can't be knocked out of the top 5. So he's the only one currently that is guaranteed in the finals. Jared Martin, he was the best lifter at Equipped Nationals, but that was his first meet in the Pro Series because he did not lift at the Arnold in the Equipped division. So he has 50 points, but everybody else on the leaderboard, basically there's 18 more lifters that can actually place ahead of him mathematically. So as an example, there's a lifter that only scored 1 point at nationals, but if they win the equipped pro and get 50 points, that gives them 51, which bumps them ahead of Jared Martin, who has 50 if Jared doesn't lift at the equipped pro. So even though he was the best lifter at nationals, mathematically he can be kicked out of the finals if he doesn't go kind of solidify his spot at the equipped pro in Wisconsin. So it's kind of interesting. And I don't, based on the current registration, there's only one lifter signed up total. I don't think these lifters realize that literally on the men's side, there's 18 lifters that are mathematically in contention for spots 2 through 5. So, you might want to think about signing up and planning to go to that if you want to contend for, getting into the finals. But again, the finals is where the big money's at. So, it would really be a shame to see Jared not make the finals just because he didn't get the second Pro Series meet for his total.
Right.
And on the women's side, it's a little bit different, but kind of the same situation. Currently, Renee Brown is in first with 100 points, and that's the most points you can get in the series. And then Sophia Veras is in second place with 90. Both of them are guaranteed in the top 5. Like, they can't be knocked out, but spots 3 through 5 are still up for grabs. And there's 16 lifters that mathematically can get into the top 3 to 5 spots and make it to the finals. It just depends, who shows up to the Wisconsin Pro and how people do there. So this is your notice, equipped lifters. Like, you should be signing up for this equipped pro. If you're not Renee Brown, Sophia Veras, or Jared Naquin, your spot is not safe. If you are, currently in the top 5, and if you're not in the top 5, you still have a chance.
What you're saying is, if you're one of those people, you register, do it.
Yeah. If you're anybody in the Pro Series that's not Jared Naquin, Renee Brown, or Sophia Veras, you should sign up because you're, especially those. Here's where, if I'm being honest, I think the people that are gonna look back and be like, "What the hell happened?" are the ones that are currently in the top 5, because they might be looking at it like, "Well, I'm in the top 5, I'm going to make the finals," not realizing there's still one more meet to go, and there's people ranked below you right now that some of them have not done their second meet, so their ranking is based on nationals alone. So you add in that second meet, and they're going to potentially leapfrog you if you're not there to defend your position. So, just something to be aware of. Don't say nobody told you.
You're telling. Okay.
But anyway, the Equip Pro is November 5th up in Appleton, Wisconsin. So I think people are going to catch on. Here's the thing. Maybe equip lifters are just late to sign up. Maybe they don't realize how this is going to have implications. But cat's out of the bag. Like, assuming somebody hears this, it's so my assumption is that people are going to realize what's going on and how this is going to work. And I think a lot of people are going to sign up kind of last minute, and it's going to be a really interesting meet to watch. I think. I think it's going to end up. I know there's only one signed up so far, but I really think both on the open side and the Masters side, I think there's going to be some really interesting implications with this meet. People trying to get into the finals.
So does Team Rohr have one of these lifters that could be in contention and should go to this meet?
We have multiple, and I'm not going to mention names or the scenarios that have to play out to happen. So just say I gave everybody a freebie here that you probably need to do the meet.
All right, Josh Rohr, we're coming up on the powerlifting situation. Are you ready?
I'm ready, but I'm going to ask you.
Oh, darn it.
Just because I don't want to answer it. All right.
Right.
Laura, you can change one rule about one of the competition lifts. Which lift and which rule do you change? And you can't say something stupid like get rid of the rack command. It has to be like an actual rule.
An actual rule. I think the recent rule, and I don't know, I can't remember now because I've been out of powerlifting, and I'll just have to admit that, about the elbows getting down below the shoulders in the bench to limit the arch is just kind of stupid.
Well, that's an IPF rule, and I don't care about it.
Okay, so that's okay. So that doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't even count that.
So it would have to probably be bench. We have already allowed folks to take their heads off the bench, so that's awesome. I would have to say there's something that with bench that probably doesn't make sense. I would put feet flat, still makes sense to me. What about dropping the barbell from the top of a deadlift? I don't think that helps a lifter at all to drop it. You picked it up. Do you really have to put it down in your hands?
Well, I think that's probably the safest answer you could give without being controversial, which because that's like one that truly doesn't really affect the actual lifting of it.
All right, so let's not be safe, is what you're saying.
I mean, it's up to you. I've heard some arguments. So I think the rules are fine as they are. I think so downward motion is one that I've heard some people complain about, because if you start up and the bar dips down and you're still able to get back up with it after that, like, did that really help you? Not really. So I can see that argument, but I think there's still that level of control that you have to demonstrate by not coming back down. Because a lot of times the downward motion is a result of losing your balance slightly or something like that. So I don't agree with getting rid of that, but I know that's something that some people think should be done away with. But
yeah. I mean, I have experimented with not having my feet flat on the ground, and you definitely get a better position sometimes if you're not flat.
Yeah.
But especially if your butt's off the bench too. But I don't think I'd want to change that.
Here's an interesting one. So what if this is not the situation, but like, what rules could we theoretically get rid of that it's still somewhat able to be judged? So like, as an example, you said butt coming off. Like, as long your feet have to be flat, but your butt can come off as far as you want. So in that situation, would taller people have an advantage because they could theoretically lift their butt up higher than short people? These are the things that run through my mind when I start thinking about stuff. And then I go down this rabbit hole.
This happens at 3 a.m. in your brain. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like no max width on the bench. So your butt can come off the bench as much as you want and no max grip on the bench. Yeah, I don't know. And I go down this rabbit hole and then I get stuck and then I'm like, all right, moving on.
Well, I'd be interested to hear what anybody else has to say about that too.
Yeah, I'm curious.
What are the things that are glaring that we're just not seeing?
And this is specific to the individual lift, so it's not like general rules of powerlifting. It's like specific to each individual. I know for a while there was no press command in the bench.
Really?
Yeah, for a while you had to pause on your own, and it was a judgment call from the 3 referees whether you paused long enough or not, but you did it on your own.
Wow.
So that's how it was when I started lifting. And I don't remember how long that was in place either, but yeah,
that's crazy to think about.
Whatever.
There you go. The new lift shoe safeties, spotters that know how to spot, and whatever other safety equipment you can use whenever you're past warm-up weights. Be safe out there, people. Spot the person, not the bar, when squatting. Yeah, enough said.
Yeah, I think I agree. I just don't get when there's safety equipment available, why people don't use it. I do not understand it.
Right. I think there's a instinct that people think, well, it's not going to happen to me, or it's not going to happen this time. I've done this before and it's been fine.
And I think too, there's a disconnect between like doing a max and still lifting heavy weight. So like, as an example, if my max is 500 pounds, let's say my max squat is 500 pounds. If I'm doing volume work at 75%, that's still 375. 375 might be easy weight for me, but it's still heavy weight and it can really still do damage. So like, I think people lose respect on the actual number sometimes because it's quote unquote easy for them. Well, shit can still go wrong pretty quick. Be safe.
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't know. This is completely random. Tina Turner died.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've had an episode since that happened. We probably have, but I was just thinking about it because, and it's weird. I started really getting into Tina Turner like a month before she died. So I was like listening to a lot of it stuff when I was working out, and then she died like a month after I started doing that. It's not funny. It's sad.
Right.
But anyway, that's just
a
random fact.
Random thing.
Yeah.
We need to get back on the music list somewhere. What will be the theme? Something to think about.
I don't know. Elmore sent me something, and I don't remember what it was. He had an idea for it, but I can't remember what it was. I have to look at my messages or something, but I'm in no hurry to do that because that is a lot of extra work for me that I don't really have time to do.
We could just randomly talk about power ballads.
If anybody wants to volunteer to run like our Instagram and Facebook for the podcast, it pays nothing, but you're hired.
I worked in the record department at Leechmere. Hey, it was cool.
What?
Yeah, there was when I was 16, I had the best job. I worked in a record store and a department store.
Nice.
And I got to have my big hair and wear what I wanted and put on whatever album I wanted in the entire store. It's great.
Nice.
Can be that type of music geek.
We had a tree come down in our yard. Luckily, it was like the best tree in the best location. Pretty much every other tree would have hit our house. This one like fell and didn't. It broke like halfway up too. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I'm going to just cut it up and make firewood out of it.
Okay. Be safe.
I will.
Respect the chainsaw.
Yeah. That's so they sell like it's a battery operated one.
Is it a Ryobi?
It is. Is it bad? You can be honest.
Homeowner stuff. It's okay.
Huh?
Yeah. I won't make fun of you. I won't make fun of you. I'm a homeowner too.
I mean, I don't need a freaking Dan Sturm chainsaw, but I would like one, but I don't need one. But that's the thing. Like, I'm genuinely curious how many people have like seriously injured themselves from these little chainsaws, because a small 10-inch battery operated chainsaw, people are like, oh, it's just a little thing. That thing will F you up still. Like, I don't think people understand that. And that's, I don't know. Some of the people I see walking through Home Depot looking at some of these tools, I'm like, are they really understanding what they're about to purchase here? Or are they just like, I don't know. So I would like to see the statistics of chainsaw injuries, both before these battery operated chainsaws that everybody owns and after. Because I feel like there's a significant number of.
Yeah. Well, chainsaw chaps are always an option because all it takes is one slip and,
Yeah.
The
Right.
fabric in the chainsaw pants actually stops the blade.
Yeah.
So.
Right. There's a lot of these safety options, but are people really thinking about that? Probably not.
No, they're not going to know because they're thinking it's just, hey, I'm just a guy in my backyard with a chainsaw. It's fine.
Yeah.
So don't be that guy.
I will not be that guy. Knock on wood. Then I'm going to cut tomorrow.
All right. Well, be safe out there, Josh Rohr.
All right. We'll do.
Don't let a tree fall on your house.
I will try not to, but I can't really control that. But
Right.
I will do my best.
Oh.
Anyway.
Until next week.
Hopefully next week. We went like 4 weeks without one. So
yeah. I know. Both of our listeners missed us, I'm sure.
It's funny though, not one of them, not one person reached out. Like, where's the episode? So,
see what I mean?
Do people really care? Probably not. So when this one comes out and like pops up on Spotify, there's gonna be like one or two people like, oh yeah, that I forgot about that thing. They do sometimes have episodes.
Maybe the title of this episode should be, "Did you even notice we were gone?"
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway. All right. Well, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Josh Rohr. Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.